Hello out there. My name is Andre Naman. I'm carrying out a video that is about international business concepts and terms, and this is when we have analyzed the best analysis that was made in the three countries of India, China, and France, and this is all meant to help Asheme Company. So among the terms that I'm going to discuss about foreign exchange rates, labor and trade barriers, and how do they affect international business. As an additional part, we shall have to see how do they act as a risk or benefits for Asheme Company. So by definition, exchange rates are meant to mean that these are amounts of money that one currency is worth of another currency. Let's take an example of the exchange rate for America in Indian rupees. Indian rupee, $1 for US dollar is worth 69.72 Indian rupees, and this means that since $1 is less and for Indian rupees too much, that means the US dollar is so strong in India. The Chinese yen is 6.92, which is also meaning that the US dollar is still stronger. So the other part is that when a dollar, taking the example of a dollar in international business, because it is considered as the currency that is used in international business, when it is stronger than local currencies, the businesses that are working in these local countries, they find it kind of hard to purchase things on the international market. But when the dollar was maybe less, not all that much stronger compared to the local currencies, it would mean that these local countries would also be able to purchase goods at a cheap price on the international market. How do they affect the business, like Asheme wanting to extend its foreign operations? This exchange rate is of an advantage that when Asheme is extending its operations in the foreign markets, in the foreign countries, they find that purchasing the materials in those countries, it is cheap, paying the labor that they found there, because $1 can exchange too much compared to the local currency. And this is of an advantage for Asheme, because if the dollar was all that weak, it would be hard for it to extend its operations in the foreign countries. The other term is labor, and labor we can understand it as the mental, physical, or natural capabilities that people use to turn raw materials into finished goods. Taking an example of machinery, it can also be considered as labor. And the machinery this is where we find that we need to be having skilled labor or unskilled, because all these are all meant to turn raw materials into finished goods. So in these countries, we have found that as Asheme wants to expand its operations, these countries have got enough technology, they have developed roads, they have everything, and that means the labor mobility in these countries will be of an advantage, because they are able to move from one place to another where Asheme will be working from. So the other term is trade barriers, and these are considered to be government restrictions that are artificially created to hinder or to promote the local markets. And it is meant normally like one country puts restrictions on another country, just meant to hinder that trade. So most of these trade restrictions, you find that the country imposes quotas. You find maybe one country is producing like maize or corn, and the country says you're supposed to only bring like 5 tons per year, and this means that you can't sell excess of the product into the other country. Another thing is that some countries just set strong standards that if you're to sell your product in a certain country, you find that the product that your own country has manufactured does not correspond to the standards that the other company which would be trading with you is on. And going with Acheme, which wants maybe to extend its operations in India or France, you find that if India doesn't want products from the US, it just sets standards maybe coming to be fulfilled, to fulfill the Indian standards that in companies like Acheme in America is hard to work on. And if these countries continue to set trade barriers against the other US, taking an example, it would hinder their ability to extend their operation, and this would be a risk of Acheme trying to extend its operations in these countries. So, as a conclusion, we can say that for trade barriers, they are just meant there to hinder trade between countries, and like for exchange rates, they would benefit this company because for it the dollar is so strong than the local currencies. And for labor, since these countries that Acheme is trying to extend to, they have enough population, and this means that Acheme companies benefit from the large population where it gets enough labor to work on its premises. Thank you.